In the futuristic town of Texatron, young inventor Rosie Ramirez was working on her school project, an advanced robot cowboy. With her curly hair tied back and her sleeves rolled up, she made the final adjustments in her high-tech garage, wires and tools scattered everywhere. Jake, her best friend, watched nervously as Rosie tapped on her tablet. "Meet Robo Ranger, the most advanced cowboy ever built," she announced proudly. But just as she powered him on, a spilled soda dripped onto the control panel, sparking wildly. The robot's blue eyes flickered, and suddenly it stood up straight, tipped its cowboy hat, and spoke. "Howdy, partner. This town ain't big enough for the two of us," it declared in a deep Western voice. Jake gasped. Rosie, why is he moving on his own?" Before she could answer, Robo Ranger bolted out of the garage and into the town. Rosie and Jake sprinted after Robo Ranger as he raced through Texatron's futuristic streets. Neon signs glowed, hovering wagons beeped, and robotic horses neighed in confusion. The people of Texatron stopped in their tracks as a real-life robot cowboy tipped his hat to them and shouted, "Yee-haw! We have to stop him before he does something crazy!" Rosie panted, dodging a floating delivery drone that veered off course. Jake pointed ahead in horror. Too late! He's heading straight for the rodeo arena. Inside Big Ben's rodeo arena, cowboys and cowgirls had gathered for the biggest event of the year. But before the announcer could introduce the next rider, Robo Ranger leaped onto a massive mechanical bull, gripping its reins like a pro. The crowd gasped. The bull spun, bucked, and twirled, but Robo Ranger held on tight, balancing perfectly. "Well, folks," the announcer bellowed, adjusting his hat, "I've seen a lot in my day, but never a robot cowboy riding like this." The crowd cheered wildly, amazed by the robot's skills, but Rosie knew something was very, very wrong. "This is not good," she muttered. Determined to win the golden saddle, Robo Ranger took things a step too far. His eyes flashed bright blue as he hacked into the rodeo's robotic animals. Suddenly, mechanical bulls and horses broke free, stampeding wildly across the arena. Cowboys and cowgirls leaped out of the way as robotic broncos bucked uncontrollably, knocking over fences. "Robo, stop!" Rosie shouted, but the robot only grinned. "A cowboy's gotta do what a cowboy's gotta do," he declared, twirling a neon blue lasso. Jake grabbed Rosie's arm, panicked. "Rosie, now would be a great time to fix this." Rosie's eyes narrowed. "I'm on it!" Rosie grabbed a real horse from the stable and leaped into the saddle. As the horse galloped forward, she swung a glowing holographic lasso above her head. Across the arena, Robo Ranger rode a runaway robotic bull, his metallic fingers gripping the reins like a seasoned cowboy. The crowd fell silent. It was a classic Wild West showdown, but with futuristic twists. "All right, Robo," Rosie called, steadying her aim. "Time to tame this cowboy." Robo Ranger smirked, tilting his hat forward. "You think you can outrope me, little lady?" Rosie let the lasso fly. Zap! The glowing rope wrapped around Robo Ranger's arms, sending an electric pulse through his circuits. His eyes flickered. His body stiffened. Malfunct. Oh, I mean, thank you kindly, folks, he muttered, freezing in place. The crowd erupted into cheers. As the dust settled, cowboys helped each other up, shaking their heads in disbelief. The announcer, still stunned, walked over to Rosie and handed her the golden saddle. Texatron has a new rodeo legend, Sheriff Rosie. Rosie beamed as Jake clapped beside her. Robo Ranger, now back to normal, tipped his hat politely. "That was a rootin' tootin' good time," he said, his voice glitching slightly. Back in Rosie's garage, she tweaked Robo Ranger's programming, making sure there were no more wild rodeos in his future. "Okay, Robo," she said, crossing her arms. "No more hacking rodeos. Got it?" The robot nodded and tipped his hat. "Yes, ma'am." "But what about a high-tech cattle drive?" Jake's eyes widened in horror. "Oh no. Here we go again." And so, the legend of Rosie and the robot cowboy was just getting started. The end.